So, thank you for having me. I was brought here to discuss the hybrid delivery of cloud computing. I travel the least of our speakers today. I come from Tybridge, Western Götaland, or we can call it Tibro. It's about 320 kilometers from here, or a 3-hour drive. So it's not that. So now I get a bit jealous, you know. Two California guys living in San Francisco. It's so cool. And my boss, Steve Deitch, who is running the worldwide cloud initiative at HP, is also a Californian guy, and he says, "I will make it very, very easy for you." He says it's something called what do you call it? Bonehead simple for you. It's an American expression. So I will try to do that to describe the cloud, the journey that we has had as an IT organization, if we all are in IT. So we start with the big switch. Anyone read that book? Because I stole that from that book, The Big Switch. It's an author called Nick Carr that wrote that in 2008. And he starting off by describing the cloud journey and comparing it to the power plants. You know, in the starting of the last century, in the 1900s, they all had their own power plants. What happened? So if you let's say that you had a Volkswagen factory. You needed electricity in order to make cars. You needed your own power plant. You had a power plant manager, and in this case, I think it was 400 employers just producing power. Think of yourself being a salesperson like myself, going to that manager of that power plant saying, "I have a much better solution for you. This is 2 holes in the wall, and you just pay for what you use." Isn't that a good idea? It is a very good idea, in some cases anyway, but it took 35 years to accomplish that. I don't think we will have the same. We will never go to about 0% power, own produced power. And when I had this presentation a year back, one of the guys in the audience said, "But hey, everyone is going to, not everyone, but some of us is going to produce our own power again." Ha, got you, he told me. And that's why we have hybrid delivery, because there is nothing that says that one size fits all. So the hybrid cloud is here, for sure. This is the simplest way that we can describe or get over all the hurdles that we have seen. Security, you will talk about cloud security or security in general. Is that a big hurdle for us embracing the cloud environment? I would say not, but we can debate that later. Because if we look at a converged cloud or providing a common architecture for the hybrid solution, you will have basically 4 different models of getting the service out there. Because the cloud is all about the services, nothing else. So if you have the traditional, for me, traditional IT is a siloed organization driven by a budget. And if you have that, you will produce one service at a time in that stack. You will have one department responsible for service, servers, the storage, the networking, the application, everything. So you will have a very siloed approach to what you're doing. If you're going to make the traditional environment to a cloud environment, you will no longer have that. You need to have a total different setup for your delivery. You will have a demand, a supply, and a delivery organization. Otherwise, you can't go to cloud. Most often, if we're going to take it to the extreme, you need a shared service approach to it as well. So not a budget-driven organization. But then you are on that side of the slide. So the thing is, we're going from traditional to a private environment. A private cloud is an automated traditional environment. It's a place where you can, as an individual, go, push a button, and get whatever services you need. That's a private delivery. What we mean by managed cloud is that you need a way or a person, a contract to an outside player. You go to a service provider and you say, I need those SLAs, can you bring it to me? And you agree on that, and you buy that service. The public cloud is hpcloud.com, Amazon, IBM's version of it, or whatever, and that's just a ticket box and a credit card. Amazon services. So what will happen if you need, or if you take an application point of view, going to the hybrid delivery, you have to be the broker, the man in the middle, saying, okay, this service, this application has those SLAs, which means I can buy them from a managed provider. Then you do that. This SLAs I have on this service is not important to me, so I buy it from public cloud, or I can't move the application for this service, so I need to keep it in the traditional world. We think that this will be the thing that we will use or buy services for 20 years to come. The traditional IT will not disappear. So that's when you have one. But the converged or the hybrid delivery, what will happen when you have one button to push and you need to flex or to pick up that, let's say that you have a project at Klarna and you have one email address, one wiki, one front-end service for that. Maybe one service contains 5 different services. Can you pick them up from any of those resources, the public, the private? That's important. When you develop the services you have, can you move them from the public arena to the managed or to the private? That's why we say that you need to build this on a common architecture. We have chosen to do so with OpenStack. And that's our way to frame all the services we have, or the products we have, so we can have the APIs in order to move them, all the services. So that's very important to us. So it starts with SLAs, availability, security, performance. Giving me back to the point, if you just want to, if you have security issues with your cloud strategy, don't put them in the managed or public cloud if you have security. But automate your traditional environment so it can compete with the cost or SLAs or whatever from a private point of view. In that way, you can bridge that problem. So just going back, because we think that on the left side, it's very, very expensive. Very expensive. Loads of people doing lots of stuff. Then you get more and more automated on the other side, cheaper. So that's why everyone is saying, we will take as much stuff as we can, as far to that side of the slide as we can, because it's cheaper, and can we do it? We should have it there. I'm not so sure. This is a case study that I made just last week for a company here in Stockholm that is 400 people. gaming company. They have 6 data centers, and this is what the findings that would have they will have, or the key ROI for their going to automate their data centers. And if you are 90, 98, 95, doesn't matter. The gain is enormous if you can automate in all aspects of the delivery. So when you compare a fully automated delivery from your own basement, maybe it's not that costly for you comparing to an Amazon delivery type. Because remember, when you go to Amazon or hpcloud.com or whatever, the start service of the virtual server will cost you a few cents. Then it's like Ryanair. You know, you add that, you add that, you add that, you add that before you have a service that you can live with. And then you need to think that, okay, is this 24/7, 365? Is that cheap or not that cheap? Because in the private world, you need to have all the stuff in your basement, so you can't flex. You buy it, you have to live with it. So the flexibility from a flexing point of view, turning the light on and off, is not that great in a private cloud. But maybe the automation figures can help you anyway. So in this particular case, we look at, remember, 400 company, highly IT intensive, but the cost reduction is almost 67 millions going to fully automated delivery. The much lower lower number is 30, but that's the number that you gain from a time to market point of view, or this company had. So how can you, if we get to 4 markets instead of 2, how will that affect us? If we get to 120 more games delivered than 100, how will that affect us? So it's enormous. So the cloud to the journey, the journey to the cloud. What is it for you? I will give you 7 leads on how this can be done in an efficient way. Focus on the success. It's stupid. What I mean by that is bring out the workload that you would like to try out. Is it time to market, or is it cost effectiveness, or what is it? Don't try to make it all. Make one bold statement. Go for that. Don't take it all. It's a huge step for you. And do it incrementally. Because it's not about the technology. Loads of people have the tools in order to automate and go to a hybrid delivery. Very, very few organization is there in order to take the organization they have today and use it. Because if you're going to save 67 million kronor in 3 years, it means that you need to do something else with the people. Huge shift. Take an app approach. I said it before. Just think about the output that you want to have. The application is the important stuff. If you've done that, you can put it in any bucket. Build for a hybrid world, of course. Okay. What does it say? Oh. Bummer. So, I know, I noticed. So this is about align your IT strategy to a hybrid cloud delivery. It means the compliance, the regulations, the security. Think of it like you need to understand what happens if you put something in the cloud and want to take it out. What will it mean for you from a compliance point of view? Avoid lock-in, because we are, according to IDC, we started this journey in 2005. They call it the third generation platform. It's a long time ago, but we just started. We haven't seen any big change yet, I would say, not in Sweden anyway. And with that I mean, almost all companies buy some sort of service from a cloud, but that's not having a cloud strategy. So avoid lock-in. Make sure you choose products and that you can replace in any case. And use the trusted partner. Don't use, in this world, you need a couple of friends, but you maybe don't need 20 of them. Compare it when you buy a car, or when a truck driver buys a truck. They don't build it themselves completely. They build a truck because they need the SLAs that comes with it. How many minutes will it take a spare part to get to the Swiss Alps when you have a Scania truck? Is it 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours? If you build that truck yourself, you will stand there by yourself. So that's pretty much what I intended to say so far. I hope I will answer more tech questions if you need that in the session afterwards. Thank you very much.